Jade had been at Ridgeview High for barely a week when the office handed her a schedule and a locker assignment that made the secretary pause. Locker 12, the woman mumbled. Thought that one was. Never mind, you're good to go. Jade didn't think much of it until she stood in front of the locker. It was older than the rest, the metal dented and the paint dull, like it had been around for decades. She spun the combination, the lock clicked, and the door creaked open. Inside was only a single envelope. Her name was written across the front in looping handwriting. Her handwriting. Jade's stomach tightened. She tore it open. If you're reading this, the truth is finally catching up. There was no signature, no explanation, just those words. Jade slammed the locker shut, hands trembling. Her first thought was that it had to be a prank. Kids at her old school loved messing with new students, but nobody here even knew her handwriting, or they shouldn't have. At lunch, she brought it up to the only person who'd talked to her, Noah, a quiet student with messy hair and a fascination with weird facts. That locker, he said, lowering his voice. It used to belong to a girl named Claire Hart. She vanished last year. No one knows how. The police searched the school for weeks. Vanished, Jade repeated. Like ran away. No evidence of that, Noah said. Her friends said she talked about déjà vu and, well, weird memories. Stuff that didn't belong to her. Jade felt the air grow heavier. That night at home, Jade stared at the note for the 100th time. The handwriting wasn't just similar, it was identical. The curls on the J, the sharp edges of the E. She knew her own writing, but she had never written this. A faint headache pulsed at her temples. She closed her eyes, and suddenly she wasn't in her room. She was in a school hallway, but it looked older. The posters, the lockers, the lighting, everything was different, like she'd stepped 10 years into the past. And she wasn't Jade, she was Claire Hart. Her breath hitched. She looked down, hands that didn't belong to her, a jacket from another era, a locker in front of her, locker 12. In her hand was an envelope, the same envelope. She watched herself, or Claire, slide it into the locker. Her own voice, Claire's voice, whispered, "I hope you get this in time." The world snapped back. Jade gasped, falling to the floor of her bedroom, drenched in sweat. What was happening to her? The next day at school, she didn't wait for Noah. She marched straight to locker 12 and spun the dial. Inside was a second envelope. Her lungs froze. "You're getting closer. Keep going. The day I disappeared, you were there." Jade stumbled back. Her vision blurred as memories that weren't hers flashed again, this time sharper. Claire running through the hall, teachers yelling. A shadow creeping across the floor. Jade, no, Claire, or both. Pulling open a door she wasn't supposed to. "Jade." Noah's voice broke through. "You okay?" "No," she whispered. "I think I'm remembering someone else's life." Noah didn't look surprised, just worried. "There's a rumor," he said quietly, "that Claire kept talking about a loop. That she felt like she was living the same life twice. A loop." Jade pressed a hand to her forehead. What if she wasn't the only one in it? That night, Jade returned to the school. She didn't know why, just that she had to. Something inside her pulled her toward the hallway, toward locker 12, like a magnet. The lights were dim. The silence was thick. She reached the locker and touched the cold metal. Instantly the world dissolved. She stood in the hallway again, but now alarms blared. Students ran. Teachers shouted. Claire, Jade, someone was sprinting toward the back exit, and behind her, a tall, shadowy figure followed, its edges distorted, like a bad reflection in water. Claire turned a corner and skidded to a stop. She faced another version of herself, Jade, like she'd been waiting for her. "You came," Claire whispered, relieved. "Finally. Who? What are we?" Jade managed. "Versions," Claire said. "You're me, or the next me. I didn't disappear. I came back as you." Jade's breath caught. "Then why leave the notes?" "So you wouldn't repeat my mistake." The shadow figure rounded the corner, growing taller, darker. "What is that?" Jade cried. Claire's eyes filled with fear. "It's what happens when you try to escape the loop. It takes you back. It erases the version that remembers." Jade backed up. "Why am I remembering?" "Because you're the last chance," Claire whispered. "You can break the loop if you walk away. Don't open the locker again. Don't follow me. Live your life." The shadow lunged. Claire shoved Jade backward, and Jade tumbled out of the vision, hitting the real hallway floor with a gasp. The school was silent again. The shadow was gone. Only locker 12 remained. Her hand drifted toward the lock. Habit, curiosity, fear. But then she remembered Claire's words. "Walk away. Jade stood. She turned her back on locker 12, and as she walked down the hallway, the air seemed to lighten like someone, somewhere, had finally been set free.